Oh boy. Okay. First thing I want to say, I want to give all the credit to the New York Jets because what Robert Saleh just did to our offense with his top three corners out, they somehow managed to top what the Cleveland Browns did to the 49ers. I want to give the Jets their credit so people don't think that what I'm about to say throughout the rest of this video is discrediting the Jets. I want to give them their credit. But oh man, where do I start? I couldn't make this video yesterday. I really couldn't with how emotional I was after that loss. I had to get my emotions together, had to try to hone in all the overreacting as much as I possibly could. But it's not much better, to be honest. Brian Johnson has to go. And I'm at that point. I thought he would figure it out at some point, but we're 6 weeks in. I don't think this is going to happen. I want to ask a question to all the Eagles fans or just people who watch these Eagles games. Who besides A.J. Brown and DeAndre Swift look comfortable in this offense? Because it's not Jalen Hurts, it's not Devontae Smith, and it's not Dallas Goedert. Jalen Hurts threw that pick at the end of the game, and really I felt like that was the only the only pick that was his fault out of the three. That's the only one that's on him, but he looks so uncomfortable as he has been this entire year, really. And I get there were other issues that wasn't just Brian Johnson. Obviously, Jack Driscoll coming in, he didn't really do a good job filling in for Lane Johnson. Swift fumbled. The interception earlier where Dallas Goedert had popped out of his hands and went right to Quentin Williams was just unlucky. There were some other things that happened, but this play calling is so horrible. And starting with the red zone, we're now 23rd as a red zone scoring offense, which absolutely is not good enough, especially with all the talent in the world on this offense. Just terrible route combinations. Can't scheme Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert open. And then even the one time he does, Devontae Smith drops the ball when he has about 10 yards of grass in front of him at least. Maybe could get that for a touchdown, but I don't know. I just feel like, like I said before, Jalen Hurts is uncomfortable with this offense. Devontae Smith is pressing now because he's not getting the football. And minus the Rams game, Dallas Goedert has been completely non-existent. So something has to change. This reminds me of 2017 because in 2017, the Eagles go on and win the Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. Frank Reich gets hired by the Colts. And then Mike Groh and Press Taylor proceed to run the offense into the ground. And that was with Doug Peterson, who actually calls his own plays. And now we're with Sirianni, who can't call his own plays. So now we have to completely give this offense to Brian Johnson, who's shown so far he has no idea what he's doing. Shane Steichen was creative. Shane Steichen got the best out of Jalen Hurts. He knew when to run the ball, when to throw it, what to do in exactly these certain situations. But you get Brian Johnson, who gets us behind the sticks and then runs on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, runs these predictable quarterback draws. I can't even remember if I said this already, but yeah, Jalen Hurts' last pick, like we ran that play earlier in the drive. So the Jets just caught on to what we were doing. I just don't understand how you have two receivers who we all thought coming to the season were top 10, or most people thought were top 10. The other team is missing his top three corners, and you can't get these guys the football. It makes absolutely no sense. These coaches just have not figured out what to do with these teams that are going to play far back, aren't going to let you beat them down the field. This coaching staff hasn't figured it out, and I want to be optimistic that this was just a bad game and things will get better, but this is just a problem that's gotten worse and worse and worse, and I don't see it changing. It's not like you can just fire Brian Johnson because it's not like you're just going to find a good offensive coordinator in the middle of the year. So one thing I will say, the defense played very well, especially to not have Slay and all the other injuries that happened throughout the game. So that's a bright spot. I think the defense has a lot of potential, and Sean Desai coached an amazing game, but I don't see this offense figuring it out, at least this season. So I'm going to be honest, I don't have much optimism. I'm probably overreacting and jumping the gun, but I don't really have much optimism for the rest of this year because I don't see this offense figuring it out. Like Jalen Hurts now is 7 passing touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And I get that 2 of them today wasn't really his fault, but I don't know. He hasn't looked like the Jalen Hurts of last year, not even close. So I don't know. I just thought I would just rant about the game the day after. And I just think this team has serious problems, and not that this season is over, but I don't know. I don't know.